This video is about finding the equation of a line. And you'll see in this first example that we have the graph of an equation, a linear equation, and we would like to find the equation of this line. Well, one thing that we know is all lines have the form y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So provided we have those two pieces of information, we should be able to find the equation of the line. So we'll take a look here and we notice that right here we have the y-intercept that is -2 on the y-axis. So we know that our y-intercept is -2. My pen's not working. Okay. Secondly, we'd like to talk about our slope. So when we look at our slope, we want to be able to count the rise over the run. So if we look at this, we're going to say starting right here at our y-intercept, we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4 places, and over 1, 2, 3, 4 places. So our rise over run is going to be 4, +4, over +4, or 1. So we can take this information now and we can write the equation of the line. Y equals 1x minus 2. For our next example, we'd like to be able to find the equation of a line given the slope and a particular point. So for this equation, again, we're going to start with y equals mx plus b. And we're told that our m is 4. And we're actually given the ordered pair -1 and 2. So we actually have an x and a y as well. So the only thing that we need to do in this particular case is plug each of these values in. So in place of y, I'm going to put this value here, 2. So I'm going to get 2 equals, our slope m is 4, our x is -1, and our b is an unknown, so plus b. So now we have, using a little simplification, 2 equals -4 plus b. Adding 4 to each side, we get b equals 6. So the equation of the line is going to be y equals m, which is 4 and was given to us, x plus 6. So this next example, we would like to be able to find the equation of a line given 2 points. And for this example, we're going to find the equation of a line through -1, 2, and 4, 6. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to label these ordered pairs. And I'm going to label them x1, y1, and x2, y2. And my reason for doing that is the first piece of information that I need is my slope, which is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Remember, for this equation, the y's are on the top. You can remember y's to the sky. It's always rise over run. So we're going to find this slope. We're going to get m equals y2, which is 6, minus y1, which is 2, over x2, which is 4, minus x1, which is minus 1. Now you'll notice here you have to be really careful with your signs. So 6 minus 2 is going to give you 4. 4 minus minus 1 is going to give us 5, and we have a slope of 4/5. So we know this is one piece of information. The other piece of information we need is some ordered pair. And sometimes people get confused because there's 2 here. It does not matter which one you use. I'm going to choose the 4, 6 here because I don't have any negative signs, and then I don't have to worry about that. So the next thing that I do is again start with my standard, y equals mx plus b, and I'm going to put in the values that I know. So in for y, I'm going to put 6. My slope is 4/5. My x is 4, and my b is my unknown. So at this point, we have 6 equals 16/5 plus b. And at this point, you might want to use your calculator. We can make this into fifths. If I change 6 into fifths, it's going to be 30/5 minus 16/5 equals b. And so we'll get b equals 14/5. So for my final answer, we'll get y equals 4/5 x plus 14/5. We want to be able to work with parallel and perpendicular lines, and so in order to do that, we need to know the relationship between the slopes of parallel lines and perpendicular lines. Parallel lines are going to have the same slope. So that means if you have 2 lines, such as y equals 5x minus 2 and y equals 5x plus 3, notice that these 2 slopes are both 5. These lines are going to be parallel. And this is the notation that we use for parallel, just 2 straight lines. Perpendicular lines, these are lines that meet at 90 degrees. And they don't have the same slope. They're going to have opposite reciprocal slopes. So both opposite and reciprocals. So for example, if one of our slopes is negative 2/3, then the perpendicular slope is going to be positive 3/2. And we're going to get to see those in action in these next 2 examples. So here we want to find the equation of a line parallel to a given line through a given point. And we're going to start, we know right away that the slope of this line is 2/3. So if we want to be parallel to this line, you should be asking yourself, if the slope of this line is 2/3, then a parallel line will also have a slope of 2/3. And we want to go through the point 3, -1. So this one is really kind of an easy one. We'll start with y equals mx plus b. We'll plug in everything we know. So in place of y, we'll put -1. In our slope, we'll put 2/3. For x, we'll put 3. And you'll notice very nice things happen in this particular one because the 3's will cancel. So we have -1 equals 2 plus b. And if I subtract 2 from each side, I get b equals -3. And then putting that together, for our final result, we're going to get y equals 2/3 x minus 3. For our very last example, we want to find the equation of a line perpendicular to a given line through the given point. So this is the first one here that's not in the standard form y equals mx plus b. So the first thing we need to do is put it in that form. So I'm going to subtract 3x from either side. And that's going to give me 2y equals minus 3x plus 8. And when I divide through by 2, I'll get y equals minus 3/2 x plus 4. So our slope of this particular line is -3/2, but we want to find the perpendicular slope. So we're not going to use a slope of -3/2. We're going to use a slope of positive 2/3. From here, we're going to use the 0.35 and the slope 2/3, plugging in what we know. In for y, we'll put 5. The slope is 2/3. X is 3 plus b. And we have a nice cancellation of 3's here. 5 equals 2 plus b. Subtracting 2 from each side, we get b equals 3. So our final result, y equals 2/3 x plus 3. This particular kind of problem tends to give people some difficulty, so you have to remember the steps. First, put the equation in the standard form y equals mx plus b. Find your slope of that line, and then ask yourself, if you want to be parallel to that line, use the same slope, and if you want to be perpendicular to that line, as we did in this case, use the opposite reciprocal slope. And then do what you've done before using that slope and that point that are given.